Hi, it's Mitz from My Life Mitz. Thank you so much for stopping by. Today I wanted to do a journal with me session in my traveler's notebook, as well as play with some of the items from June's stationery selection box. And right off the bat, you can see here I'm using the mini dater that was included several months back, and I've decided to stamp out this week's dates so that I can easily use them in my Hobonichi Techo. You can easily stamp out the future days and have them handy for use. And the size is perfect. The mini dater stamp size is perfect for that. And I'm using the washi collage sheet from Sunny Sunday, and I've decided to use that and to cover up the actual date in the Hobonichi page. And I'm just using my fingers to rip it up. I kind of like to sometimes I like to use scissors, but most of the times I usually just end up ripping it and giving it more of like a raw edge. So that's one super easy way to use the graph tape from Classici that was in the box. So I will do a journal with me session in my regular sized traveler's notebook here. It is the Starbucks Roastery edition. They have a limited, like a collaboration with Starbucks in Japan. And near the end of the video or later on in the video, I will share with you, after I finish the journal with me, I will share with you some other like crafting ideas, I guess, on how to use some of the items from the stationery selection box. So yes, moving forward, I am using one of the collage sheets again from Sunny Sunday, ripping it apart, and I decided to use that as a border on the bottom of the page. This is like a really quick and easy way to add some color to a blank page for myself. Sometimes I have this not scare, but I kind of don't like the blank page look, and I need some kind of color or some ripped pages, or just collage some bits on the paper before I can actually start writing. So I added the Sunny Sunday collage paper bit, and then I also added the Classici grid tape right on top of it. And you know me, I like to really add layers and layers. So I've added a layer of some of the washi tape from MT and Robert Morris. It's a collaboration washi tape, and I've just ripped it apart because it is quite wide. Then I've added another piece of washi tape right on top of that. So it's a whole bunch of layers, but it's really, really nice effect. And I just grabbed the other half of that torn paper bit in the beginning, and I've created a bit of a super wide border, I guess you can say. Decided to use the calendar sheet for the date. This was also included last year. I think it was October or November's box. So it's just a calendar tearaway sheet. I really, really like this one. It's very thin and it's kind of translucent in a way. You can see the background there. I've grabbed the frog stamp from the June box, and I know some people may hesitate or are unsure how to use it because it is a corner stamp, but in this case I've grabbed a gray brush pen, and I've created a square, and you can easily write your to-dos there, or maybe a favorite quote. If you're using the frog stamp on an envelope for your pen pals, you can use the frog stamp to write the address box as well. And then I've taken the snail stamp and just kind of run it along the edge of the box, as well as I think it's called second generation stamping, where you stamp off the first set of ink onto a separate page and then you stamp it onto the page, so it's not, the ink isn't as dark. And so I've used the snail stamp throughout that page. Grabbed a mushroom stamp from the Midori washi sticker set and just kind of decorating there. I love the washi stickers, I really, really do. They're so delicate and simple, and they don't add any bulk to the page, and I really, really like them. So I've decided to continue to use the scrap paper from the Sunny Sunday, the other half of it, and I've decided to create a tag. So the journal part of it is finished, and I just wanted to create some other, I guess, crafty things, so you can watch me do that if you don't mind. I've folded it in half and glued it together. I've decided to use the classic grid tape and punched some holes. And I know some crafty friends might have like a different sized hole punch, or you might have like multiple sized hole punches, but I don't. And so I just decided to just hand cut it. I've created I created a hole using a regular hole punch, and then I just grabbed my scissors and just cut around it and made a little, it's like a hole reinforcer using the classic grid tape, and it's so nice. I think it's perfect for that. It's really easy to do, and you can see here I've used the handmade hole enforcers, and I'm covering up the hole there from the tag, and it looks so nice, I think, right there. And then the other small tag you see there on the left hand side, you can grab the grid tape from Classic and fold it onto itself and create a tag, like a smaller tag that way too, and just punch a hole on the end there, add some twine or the Avril yarn, and it's a really simple and easy way to create little tags and journaling spots. Next, I just grabbed a blank piece of paper, and I wanted to show you like various ways you can use these stamps. I know some people might not be as comfortable with these stamps, so I thought I would share with you some ideas that I had floating around in my head. So I'm just stamping them out onto a blank piece of paper using the bamboo ink from Artnik, and now that I think about it, I should have stamped onto the flat surface because my traveler's notebook is a little bumpy due to the different layers and things. The insert that I have in the back is actually a journal insert, like a travel journal insert, when I went back to Canada, so it's a little bumpy. So you can see I made an example there. You can make a to-do list using the snail stamps as like little checkbox marks and things like that. And like I mentioned earlier, you can have your favorite quotes in the box, or an address if you are using it on an envelope. So there's different various ways to use the stamps. And also there's so many creative individuals on social media. They use the hashtag the stationery selection, and you can check out how people or other people have used their goods, and there's just so many creative people out there, and I really appreciate if you're one of those that share your ideas on Instagram. Okay, moving forward, I want to go into using the Avril yarn. I know some people might be a little afraid or don't know how to use the Avril yarn in your actual journals. Of course, you can use the yarn to wrap decorations and things. Actually, the most recent post from Connie on the website, I will post the link down below, but she uses the Avril yarn to package her orders that she has, and so I know some people might be aware of how to use the yarn for packaging but may not be comfortable using the yarn in your journal. So I thought I would share several different ways that I like to incorporate the yarn in my journals. First thing is I've used two little strands here, and I like the yarn here because it is nice and delicate. It is not bulky or too bumpy. I know some of the yarns might have more texture to it, but the yarn that we chose for this box is nice and delicate, so it doesn't add too much to your page. Like, it adds a nice little touch to your page, but it's not too textured. So I just stuck it with some simple Classic tape in the corner there, and then now I've cut a couple of extra strands and passed it through the tag that I created earlier. And of course you can add more or less yarn to your tag as a tassel, but I thought it was nice and cute, so I did that. And another idea I have is to grab a simple paper clip, and you can cut a couple of pieces again, or a couple of strands of the Avril yarn, and just pass it through the paper clip and make a small tassel that way. So it's very easy and simple way to kind of jazz up simple things like your paper clips and tags, and I know it's easy access to get twine, so a lot of people do this with twine, but with the Avril yarn you can do the exact same thing. So it is a little bit long here, so I just kind of cut some bits, cut the excess off. And the excess off, you see, it's kind of lying there and it fell nicely onto the page, and I just felt like it's a really pretty way to decorate. I'm using all of my scraps that I could. So this is the other half of that grid paper or grid tape from Classici, and I'm just using that to stick these two bits down on the next page, and it just really adds a nice, cute, simple little accent to the page. So that's what it looks like up close. Very, very easy to do. It's just yarn and tape. And I think moving forward I am going to be making a tassel out of the yarn. I didn't have enough time to create like a, I was going to make a tassel bookmark, so having the two tassel ends and creating a bookmark for the actual traveler's notebook, but I didn't have enough time, so I will show you how I created just one tassel, and it's very, very simple and easy to do. If you actually take a look at YouTube, there's a lot of tutorials online. I found this really simple one. You grab two credit cards or two cards and you cut a piece of string, I don't know, maybe about 30 centimeters or so, or 1 foot, and you sandwich the string in between the cards and leave it there. Then you grab your spool of yarn and you just wrap it around, and I believe I counted, I think it was somewhere around the 20. I believe I wrapped it around 20 times or so. And of course, if you want like a more voluminous, full body tassel, then you can wrap it a lot more. Or if you want really simple, small tassel, then you don't have to wrap it around as much. But I believe I wrapped it around 20 times in total. Once you're finished with that, you take the string that is sandwiched in between the cards and you pull the sides upwards like that. Then you just tie a knot at the top so that it's nice and secure. You can tie it around a couple of times just so that it's nice and tight, and the yarn that is wrapped around the cards don't unravel. I hope I'm making sense. But like I said, there's a whole bunch of tutorials on YouTube as well if you want to check that out. So once that's tied, once you've tied the knot at the top, just slide the yarn across, taking the cards out, clip the ends there, and now you can see I'm just kind of rearranging the yarns so that you can see the tassel. And like I said, if you want to have a more, like a thicker tassel, then of course you can wrap it around more than just 20 times. I just cut a piece of yarn so that I can tie it around at the tip, at the top, just so that the tassel isn't flying out, or I don't know how to word it, just so that the tassel isn't fraying out or isn't spreading out too much. I've just used a smaller piece of yarn and I just tied it at the top. I hope I'm making sense. And that's it. It's so easy, and you can make, you know, mini tassels for like a keychain or a planner charm. I know some people do like hang little charms and things from their traveler's notebooks and things like that. I was just trying to show you an example there. You can hang a tassel from the paper clip and have that hanging from your journal as well. Like if you don't want to actually tie it to any rings or any elastics or anything like that, you can do that. I've decided to create a small little tag using the Classici grid tape again, and like I mentioned earlier on in the video, I like the fact that it's already adhesive, so you just peel it off and you stick, you fold it in the middle and then you stick it on itself, and you can make a simple tag. It's a nice size, so I hole punch it with just a regular hole punch, and I pull the tassel string through or the yarn through and just tie it off. And I don't know if you remember the hole enforcers that I created. I decided to use that to hold the tassel yarn down. I will clip a, I'll try and make sure that it's kind of close up so that you can see. So that's what it looks like. I flip it over to the other side and I apply the handmade hole reinforcer again. And if you really want to, you can try and line up the lines if you like, but that is the finished product. Super easy to do, and it's so cute and pretty and delicate. And these are the items that I've made with the Avril yarn. I will somehow use them in my junk journals or for Happy Mail, just writing some small messages here and there. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it gave you some ideas on how to use yarn for your journals. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.